Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to draw what's in front of us here, which is the Android icon. It's going to be nearly like that, slightly different, and that gives you something to do later on when you want to have a little play with it. You'll see what you come up with here, and then you can go, oh, I can change that. Alright, so let's just go over and see what code we've got to start with. We're going to do this thing in stages. Okay, so it's called Android. This is what the canvas says, so it's got a yellow background and black border. Our idea is Android. It's 600 by 600. The first thing that's slightly different is that instead of using 300 you can say canvas.width, canvas.height divided by 2, and that will halve it. So if it was 800 by 800, the middle of it would be 400. So that gives you a little bit more flexibility if you wanted to do that. Okay, now let's just try work our way through here a bit. Our first part we're doing is drawing the antenna, and I've commented out the head, the eyes, the body, the legs and the arms, which are going to be down here a bit further. So let's just focus first of all on our antenna. Now it's a very similar to the lines you drew way back when you first started drawing stuff. Very similar. The thing is that because you now translated to the middle of the page, the middle of the canvas, one line looks like that and the other line looks nearly exactly the same, except one's a negative, so the X's on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you want a 20 width line and your ends are round, and you put that in, and then when you have a look at it, it looks like that. So you're on your way. So you've got your two antenna drawn. The next one is the head. Let's have a look at the head. The head is a half circle, so let's just work our way down a little bit. Function, draw head. So we've got a variable called radius. We could just stick 150 in there if you wanted to. This is the arc we want. It's almost a semicircle. It's not quite. It's just under. So if it was 1 to 2, it'd be the exact semicircle. So it's just under that. And then there's a line that takes you back over to the other side. So it's solid. It would still colour it in with its fill, but we want the line underneath it as well, and those things will happen. So if we uncomment this and we save it and go back over here and refresh, we get the next bit. There's the head. Right, so now we're going to put a couple of eyes in there. So let's take the eyes and have a look at the eyes. Alright, now we could have split it up into left eye and right eye. So we could have had function draw eyes, set up the radius, the fill style, and then created two separate little functions that you're going to see down there where the legs and the arms are, but this is all together here. So here's your 12. You want your eye radius to be 12, and the spot, the thing is that this is the center of the radius, so it doesn't really matter too much about whether they're false or true here. You just want to make sure that it starts at one spot and comes back to where it started from. 0, 2 math pi, so that's one whole circle. So we've got all that. We do these two bits like this, just put them in a different spot. One is minus 60, one is 60, and then when you save that and go back and have a look, you've got the eyes where you want them. Alright, next part's the body, which is going to be really basic. It's just going to be a square. Later on, up to you, you might like to put some arcs on the corners and stuff and join the legs up. They're separate little objects at the moment. So we take the body. Let's go and look at our body and see what we're doing down here. Very basic, very basic. Start in a spot, draw a rectangle. Now minus 150, 300 across, so it goes to 150, so that puts it in the middle. 220 down from minus 70, same thing. So what we've got here is we've got a square, exact square, which is what we want here. 300 by 300. So let's see, fill style green, back, it's already black, it's declared black further up. Oh yes, by the way, the stroke colour and stuff won't change. If you set a certain colour, it'll run all the way through at that colour until you change it. So the fill style might be changing, but the outside hasn't changed. It's black all the way. So let's go back up, make sure I uncommented it. I did. Save. Let's see what we've got now. There's our body. Okie dokie. Now, next one we want to do are the legs. So here are the legs, and if we go down to legs, body, legs, you'll see that here we've got a fill style and a line width. It's a bit bigger. You probably can go and play with that and find out why. It's still green. We've got a right leg and a left leg, and only the right leg's been done. So let's save that and see what we finish up with. Okay, so good. We want another one over here. So what we do is this: we copy the right leg into there, and we call it the left leg, like so, and we just replace all of these in here so that you've got the left one happening. And the other thing we've got to do is these are all negative, which is why it's over here. This is the middle. You want the other one over here, so you've got to take away all these negative x values or horizontal values, and then let's see what we get. Alright, go back over here and we do it. What's happened? Oh, I need to uncomment it in there. It'd be a good idea. Let's try that. Now let's see what we've got. Goodness me, we have a problem. So what does that mean? Well, it means something's wrong here. Maybe if I make that false it'll fix it. Let's see if that fixes it. Okay, not a chance in the wide world. Okay, let's put it back to the way it was. What about if we swap these over? See if this makes a difference. Change our start and finish point, see if that helps. And we may be getting there. Let's see what we've got this time. We're close, and we make this one false and save it. You've probably played with these already, hopefully. You can see what's coming. Look at that, wonderful stuff. So it's not just a straight get rid of the negatives, change it from right to left, blah 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 blah. You've got a little bit of extra stuff to do here to make the curve go the other way. So on one side the curve does that, on the other side the curve curve does that. So it does that and it does that. So it starts in a different spot and it goes in an opposite direction. Okay, that's what this stuff does. It puts you in a centre and gets you, that's the centre of your arc there. So it's like the centre of a circle. So sometimes if it's there you want it to do that, sometimes if it's there you want it to do that, and that's what this part here is doing. Alright, let's look at our arms. Now I've got, let me see here, we are going to do the left arm, and I've been really nice, and it looks to me as though I've put them both in even though I wasn't going to. Here they are. So let's just see if we've got what we want, because it may not be spot on yet. Let's see. Goes back up here. Always forgetting to uncomment. Good to know it's only a minor problem like that. The major ones are the ones worth looking at. Look at that. Got it straight away. You got so lucky. So but don't just stop, have a look. 200, 200, 200. Remember that when we were drawing the window, arc, 5 of them to get us back to where we started. So what this does is a top arc, a bottom arc, and takes us back to where we were before. Okay, same here, and the beauty of this is that it all works beautifully. You don't have to worry about which direction you're going. Up here you get into a bit of a strife because you've got to draw lines and an arc. Down here it's just 3 arcs. You find out where you want to sit in the centre, how big you want to make it, and it'll go either in that direction or it'll go in that direction. As long as you got your spot right, it doesn't matter. So it's very similar to drawing that window in the previous one. So there you go.